This time last year, Motown dazzled when breaking his maiden, which led to an impressive win in the Remsen. Disappointing since he'll look to get back on track as he returns to a place where it all began. Well, if you want greatness, it might cost you. 5 days in, Keeneland September sale goers have seen some impressive yearlings, and it's been reflected in the numbers. And this filly, Defiant Honor, is one of 9 likely going to post for the Grade 2 Sands Point. That's tomorrow, but we'll be bringing you a little sneak peek of her and other contenders later today. And, well, welcome to Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. And it is once again a spectacular day here at Belmont Park, and we've got an exciting weekend lined up. Of course, getting into our graded stakes action. That'll be tomorrow, but we have an amazing show lined up here today. I am your host, Gabby Gaudette, and pleased to be joined by Andy Serling and Paul LaDuca. Gentlemen, we are in week 2 of the Belmont Fall Meet. How's it been going?
Well, it's nice to have you back after you abandoned Paul and I on Sunday. So we're a little hurt, but you're back.
You did well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Andy was a tremendous host, way above my expectations. I have to admit that to everybody out there. But, I mean, again, the trend continues to be, and the trending is the weather. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And the better weather, more turf racing.
And we've got a great card lined up, and I guess all eyes will be on Motown to see if he can get back in the form that he used to be in.
He was in that form briefly. I mean, he looked like one of the top 3-year-olds in the country, 2-year-olds last year at the end of the year. It's been a disaster for him so far in 2017.
Well, we'll get to that a little bit more later on. But first, we'll show you, well, a look outside, and it is glorious. Doesn't feel like we're approaching fall. It kind of feels like a midsummer day here. We're getting into the high 70s. We are fast and firm on the turf. A light breeze, very pleasant weather for us and for the horses. And, well, for those horses, we'll be bringing you 4 races today. We started off with the 6th race. We've got a nice little claiming race, a New York bred claiming race, followed by an allowance optional claimer on the turf. We've got one on the Widener turf after that, and then an allowance optional at 1 mile onto the main track. That caps off the show there in race 9. But first, this would be a good time to remind everybody about the Naira Bets sign-up bonus, and join today and earn a $100 new member sign-up bonus when you use that promo code LIVE at sign-up to get the bonus. You have to bet 100 in 14 days, and you'll get 100 in your account. All right, well, we'll be looking at the 6th race as the horses are making their way onto the track. And once again, it's 5.5 furlongs onto that main track. And we start things off with the 1 Love You Dearly, now trained by Robertino Diodoro.
Always interested in horse off the claim by Robertino Diodoro, but he'd have to improve this horse a lot to win this race.
8-1 right now, and also 8-1 is the 2 E Warfare, trained by Juan Ortiz and Luis Saez in the saddle.
Her race 2 starts back, puts her in the mix. She's going to have to step it up a tiny bit, speed from the rail.
And the 3 Big Mara, first off the claim for Chris Englehart.
Sharp claim for Chris Englehart, and also Island Wind Racing. If they can get her back to her good races, she can win.
Long shot there. AC Avila sends out the 4 pretty enough.
This horse is going to come from way off the pace, but a tough horse to get to, taking the blinkers off.
And the 5 Palladian Bridge, trained by Gary Contessa.
Trying to get back to the dirt form that she had this past winter.
The 6 Holy Gold seems very quick.
Yeah, this horse is going to try to hold on and can try to go to the front end, but I don't know if she's good enough.
Could get pressure just to her outside by the 7 Zippity Zoom, first off the claim for Rudy Rodriguez.
She'll have to improve off her recent form, though she was against the track last time.
And the 8 Non-Fiction Mai for Gary Gullo, coming in fresh off of a impressive victory last time out.
Yeah, she was very impressive for a 12.5. Now she's going to bump up for 25, but she deserves it. That was a nice win last time.
All right, well, that is a look at the field, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But first, we have to welcome in another member of our team, Maggie Wolfendale. Maggie, how's it going?
Everything is good down here in the winner's circle. Always good to be in this location, that's for sure, especially if you have the right horse. Then we'll be searching for that here in race number 6 as we'll take a look at a horse to the outside who does come off of a nice win, albeit for 12.5. That is No Finiche Mai here for trainer Gary Gullo. Now, this is one of the physical better times I've seen her, and it's one of the best times she's behaved. She's typically very bad to saddle. She was saddled in the walk, but she wasn't acting up as much as she can or has in the past. The thing, though, is that the front advantages go on for the first time. I like her. She can win here, but I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that those are going on here today. Next, we'll move on to one that is going to have to step up her game. Yes, number 1, Love You Dearly. Now, these open kind of 25 New York bred races, well, they can be pretty difficult. This is, though, one of the more easier ones I've seen. But, you know, Love You Dearly, she may have been better off being entered in a non-2 life for 25 than this condition here. But Robertino Diodoro saw enough to claim her and enter in this spot. She looks fantastic. She's probably one of the best looking horses in this race. And obviously she's light on experience, and sometimes that's good. But in this race, facing winners for the first time, I don't know if that's really going to pay off here, but she's a big price, and physically, she does look good. But that'll lead me to my pick here. First off the claim for Chris Engelhardt is number 3, Big Mar. She's kind of checked all the boxes for me. I know she's graduating from that non-3 life condition, but she looks good. She has good energy. She's moving well out in the track. I like the warm-up that she got beneath Manny Franco, so it'll be Big Mara for me, guys.
All right, thanks very much there. Big Mara for Maggie there, first off the claim for Chris Engelhardt. But the 7, Zippity Zoom, is your current favorite right now. Actually just took another punch there at 6-5. First off the claim for Rudy Rodriguez. Guys, how does she kind of key up against this field?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. She's a terrible 6-5 shot, and you'd like to book $1 million on her at 6-5. And she's one of 3 horses taking equivalent amount of money in multi-race bets. She was against the track last time, Paul. When horses click claim by Rudy Rodriguez, though, and they take this kind of money, it scares me.
Yeah, and, you know, she's not – I don't know if the horse in front of her stopped, and you could tell by her strides. Just look. But she's trying. She's chasing. She clears the third-place finisher by about 6 lengths. You look at her PPs. She doesn't love to pass much. She doesn't love to win much, at least recently. You go back, she was – somewhat of a win machine. So I don't know what's going on with her now. Maybe the freshening will help. A little cheaper competition.
I think she's a typical Linda Rice horse that when she got good, Linda did a great job of keeping her good form, but that form fell apart. She was against the track last time. I don't know how she's 6-5. It makes me wonder if there's some gigantic tip on her. Because what about her PP say she should be an overwhelming favorite in this race?
No, nothing. She's over 6 on the year. Now, has she run a bang-up race? Yes. And I think the public sometimes falls in love with horses that, you know, do run well but don't win. Now, the 3 Big Mar comes off a giant win for Chad Summers and now in the Chris Engelhardt barn against a lot weaker. It says bobbled start. The horse really didn't bobble start. I thought was more impressive was she took the heat. She's on the inside most of the time and then just drew off. Now, who'd she draw away from remains to be seen.
Yeah, for me, she's a horse that you could never like off her last race because she rode a super gold rail that day to victory, and it's exaggerated her performance. And the horse she beat, Madame Amour, was a dreadful third in a very weak field earlier today, and her form is disintegrated. The hope with her, and I like her and picked her as well as Maggie did, is that she's going to improve for the new barn. Chris Engelhardt's very sharp. Island Wind that claimed her, they're very sharp. And if she can find that form she had last year, she can win.
Yeah, and, you know, if you look at her PPs, that's really the first time she's sprinted since April. You look at her sprint in April, it was good. Her other one's better. I think they're finally going, okay, at age 4, let's leave her around 1 turn. Now, I like the 5 Palladian Bridge, and I think that this horse going back to dirt, the drop for 25. If you look at her races for the 40 non-2, I know they were non-2 a lifetime. She got the job done. Her races just better when she's dropped down for this class, and I think she can sit and finish.
She's a real wild card here. She's not a turf horse. You can dismiss her last, and her prior 2 were against better horses. What you're going to get from her today from Gary Contessa, I have no idea, but I won't be shocked when you're right and she wins, Paul.
Well, guys, I think it's safe to say that this is a wide open and very intriguing race indeed, especially for a set 3-2 favorite right now. So it could go any which way, and, well, now's the time to head up to John Embriel for the rest of the load and the call.
Waiting now on Pretty Enough and Non Finisse Mai. Last one goes in. We're set for the start. And they're off. A good break from Love You Dearly. Now from the outside, there's Zippity Zoom and Non Finisse Mai. And moving up in between horses is Holy Gold, and Zippity Zoom. And those 2 are heads apart for the lead. Love You Dearly is down at the rail. Non Finisse Mai is on the outside. Then comes E-Warfare, who's racing in 5th, length and a half to Big Mara in 6th. It's a break of 4 to the 2 trailers, Palladian Bridge and Pretty Enough. The quarter went in 22 and 2/5 seconds. And here is Zippity Zoom to poke ahead in front of Holy Gold. Non-Finisse Mize on the outside. E-Warfare now splits horses. Love You Dearly's been shuffled back. And on the outside is Big Mara. The field is in the stretch, and it is Zippity Zoom with the lead here. Big Mara on the outside into second. Zippity Zoom trying to hold off Big Mara. Zippity Zoom narrowly. Big Mara driving on the outside. Big Mara, Zippity Zoom. It's those two down to the finish, and it's going to be Big Mara to win it at the end. Zippity Zoom was second. Farther back, Pretty Enough and E-Warfare.
And well, it was a little bit of a horse race between Big Mara and Zippity Zoom coming down the finish, but Big Mara, first off the claim, got the best.
It's really interesting to watch the betting here because we talked about how low the 7 Zippity Zoom, who ran a winning race and just got run down. She drifted to 2-1. The winner, the 3-horse near Big Mara, was 4-1 when they went the gate, ended up 2-1 and ran her down, Paul.
Yeah, she did. I mean, she had to do it about 4 wide. She had to do it the hard way. The 7, I get it, doesn't love to win races, at least lately. But when she hit the front, I thought, okay, she's going to be tough. But you could tell as soon as Manuel Franco went left-handed, then back right-handed, Big Mara's really, really trying hard. And these two fillies are going to go on with it. You do get a long shot. Pretty Enough made a nice little move with the blinkers off for AC Avila at 19-1 to round out your try.
They finished well ahead of the others, these two. I don't think either one of them ran a losing race. And they ran such different races, right? The 7 was battling it out the whole way, and there's an argument that the 7 really ran the better race, right? Because she battled the whole way. But Zippity Zoom had to circle the field, and this is not the same track we saw last weekend. We've seen horses run inside and run well today, so I don't think we have an outside track.
Yeah, you're starting to wonder, is Zippity Zoom just snake-bitten a little bit because she keeps running really good races and just getting beaten.
She ran too well to lose here. The 3 just nailed her.
And the 3 Big Mara, that was impressive and a very savvy claim, I would say. First off, the claim for Chris Engelhardt. This is a filly that had a tremendous amount of back form, and she's really starting to find it again.
Yeah, this was a nice effort coming off the claim. Island Wind Stable that owns this horse, they're very sharp. You have some very, listen, you're going to win claiming in New York. It takes more than just a good trainer.
No,
it takes a sharp claiming outfit. You think of Michael Dubb, but Island Wind sharp.
The other part about this, if you look at the horse's PPs, where are her wins at? They're at Belmont. They probably claimed her thinking, okay, she's a better horse at Belmont. We're going to run her there.
All right, well, we'll come back with Winner Circle and prices right after this. But, well, have you ever wondered what $2.7 million looks like in real life? Well, you're looking at it. We'll have more on the Keeneland September sale coming up later.
The graded stakes winning son of Bernardini is off to a sensational start at stud. Among the leading freshman sires by winners in graded stakes horses, his first crop 2-year-olds commanded prices up to 36 times his stud fee. Leading progeny include TD and Rising Star Recruiting Ready, second in the Bashford Manor Stakes, and Stakes Place performer Junket. The pedigree, speed, and class to become the next star in this sensational sire line. Algorithms at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
welcome back to Belmont Park Live. And, well, we just saw the three big Mara walking into the winner's circle there after an impressive victory last time out at Saratoga. She kept on keeping on today at Belmont. Here are the results with Big Mara returning 6:30 for the win.
Yeah, congratulations here to the Connections Island Win Racing. Big Brown filly out of the Smart Strike mare. Joy. And I'm sure they're all feeling that, as long as Manuel Franco. And now 4 for 13 lifetime.
Yeah, I'd imagine a joyous winner circle, that's for sure, as we head down to the winner circle with Maggie standing by. We'll get to Maggie in just a moment with those hopefully joyous winning connections, but I would imagine they are a savvy move. First off, the claim. You know, you always kind of want to find horses in the claiming game that have a little bit of back class, but there's always a strategy to it.
Well, absolutely. You're taking a bit of a gamble. I mean, the whole thing is a bit of a gamble, but the guys who play it and have played it for a long time, they're good chess players.
Yeah, they are. When you get into the claiming game, you have to have one way or the other. Either the horse is in very good form, so you want to leave the horse at that level, or there's somewhat of a change, or you're going to go to the turf, you're going to go a little bit longer. But you could look maybe, I don't know if it was behind it, but the horse had been 2 for 3 at Belmont. Now she's 3 for 4, and they probably thinking, she likes it here, let's try to claim her before if we can run her here.
All right, let's try this again as we head down to the winner's circle with Maggie standing by.
Oh, dear, Gabby, I didn't even know that I couldn't hear you and you were throwing it to me. But Evan and I were having a nice conversation here, warming up, and here with Evan Growitz of Island Win Racing. And, Evan, you picked Big Mara up out of her last race, which was a winning one at Saratoga. When you claim a horse like her, obviously she's a New York bred. Does that weigh heavily on your dropping the slip on her?
Paramount. That is the major reason. Chris does a phenomenal job with all horses. But with the New York breds, we just have so many different options. That we have the 25 today, or maybe the 2X40 if she improves a little bit.
And she ran well. She ran down well, she actually ended up being the favorite. But when they went into the gate, we did see Zippity Zoom as the favorite, and it's a good effort. She's paired together wins. Do you look at that allowance condition? Absolutely. We'll be looking at the 2X40 when it comes up. If she's doing well, we'll get her in the right spot. Yeah, she did take a ton of money late. 104.30 looks like a good time. I haven't looked at the times for the whole day, but it looks like she ran really well. And you're a guy, you like to claim, you like to play the ponies as well. And Evan, what's been your biggest score? I would say my biggest score was Cologne. It was a horse I claimed for $25,000 with Scott Lake. And she made like $300,000 on the racetrack, and we sold her for $400 as a broodmare. So that was probably my best success. Plus, I have a picture with my daughter at 3 years old with Cologne. It's something we will never forget. That was really great. And not only are you a good owner, but you're a very good fan of this sport. And so thanks for talking to us, and congratulations here. Thank you very much, Maggie. All right, Gabby.
Thanks, Maggie. An owner, a bettor, and a horse racing fan. You can't get much better than that. Well, the New York Racing Association is the industry leader in providing Spanish language content. Luis Granderson and Darwin Vizcaya provide both race calls and pre-race analysis every day, and you can check it out on the Naira Now app, which brings you content in HD. Here's a look at the opener.
Ha dominado claro por 2 cuerpos y medio. Segunda está Seafoam, Tony Bennett. 3 largos. Segunda está Seafoam, Tony Bennett. Con John Velázquez se le está trayendo de punta a punta llegando. Va ganando es Tony Bennett. Segunda está arribando Seafoam. Tercera está arribando Mr. Harroga. De cuarto final.
There's a look at Stony Bennett starting today's program off earlier today. And I have a question for you, Paul. You were talking about this horse at Saratoga. Did you finally get the opportunity to bet him today?
Yeah, it's 6-5, right?
6-5.
Yeah.
Right in, Paul.
But wow, he's a nice horse. The son of Buster Souza, Unbridled Songsbury. You're going to see this horse. I know he's a New York bred. You're going to see him outside the New York bred company. He's going to be trying some different things. And congratulations to Mr. Belinsky, Mr. Valenti, and Ollie Figgins. I mean, this horse has been live for a while. He got scratched. He was also eligible out of one spot. But this horse has got a ton of potential, and reportedly in the morning been working lights out, Andy. We've been hearing about this horse for a while now.
I remember he was an AE and didn't get in.
Yeah.
And you and I were doing the show out of the paddock at Saratoga, and you pointed to him as not getting in. And you said, wait till this horse gets in. I think Ollie Figgins had just won a race at Saratoga with a shipper, a 5.5 furlong long shot that won, and then was didn't come in as an MTO. It was rain or an issue. But I agree. This is a seriously good horse.
No, it's a seriously good horse. And for a lot of people that don't know who Ollie Figgins is, he trains a lot of horses up at Charlestown, up in the Midwest. He knows exactly what he's doing. This is a good New York bred.
And, of course, he had Dance to Bristol that took him all the way to the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah.
Everybody's stealing your Maryland card. Paul's talking about Ollie Figgins. You're basically out. It's over for you in Maryland.
I will hang on to my Maryland card. But first, we have to take a trip over to Kentucky and talk about the Keeneland September sales. Of course, that's been occurring so far this week, and it's been incredibly successful thus far, guys. So we'll take a look at what's trending. This is at Keeneland sales. Another millionaire at Keeneland September hit 844. An Orb Colt, who is a half to stakes winner. Kiriaki hammers for $1 million at Dromo Farm at Claiborne Farm as well. And that's not the only millionaire, guys. Hip 790 brought 750. Today, not quite $1 million, but still a good return there. This Warfront Colt is 0-0. The graded stakes winning, the graded stakes winning mare Starwick. And that's
Stanwick. John Sheriff's, I think. Stanwick.
Yeah, John
That's a
Sheriff's,
look.
yeah.
At this horse.
Good sale for Claiborne, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, the Warfront's selling well, and the Orbs continue to get a ton of money.
Yeah, they are. They're tremendous. And what I've heard from a lot of them is their demeanor in the ring for both. And Warfront, it just stamps himself already. But Orb being a new sire, a lot of them are saying they're built like tanks, and they handle themselves well in the ring. And that's why you're seeing the big prices. So kudos to Claiborne, and kudos to Keeneland Sales. They do a tremendous job. And we think the industry's going down. It's not. They keep going up and up. We saw it at Fasig-Tipton and again at Keeneland.
Always easy to find naysayers.
It's true.
And Claiborne, well, you guys mentioned it, had a tremendous sales result so far. This is a look at the highest price by a Claiborne stallion. Of course, he's by Warfront.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed. Ayatapa, the dam. I remember
she could
her.
run her
She was
eyeballs
good,
out.
right.
She was a California horse that was very freaky at times. She was one of those mares at times where she could just throw a 105 by her run and then she could back up a little bit. But she put Boulder to the test a couple times. She's a nice mare.
Baffert trained? She wasn't Baffert,
I want to
was she?
say he was either Richie Baltus and might have been Baffert, one of
you
those
might be
two,
right.
somewhere in that area. But that is a horse that has a tremendous pedigree because Ayatapa had a ton of pace, and we already know what Warfront can do.
Of course, she was a two-time Grade 1 winner and third in the Breeders' Cup to Staff. But here is the sales topper, of course. This is the $2.7 million filly.
This is in your ashtray, right, Andy?
Pretty and Smart.
Well, the dam's named after me, but
Good
to be
try
honest, but Tony Dutrow actually trained the dam this
Wow.
horse. That's an awful lot of money. Those tappets, I'm like, wow.
It's unbelievable. It feels like we went away from this type of price, right, Gabby? I mean, we were like, the $750 a million seems like it's popular. 2.7 is another level.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. And, well, we saw all of these horses surpass the $1 million marker.
Wow.
Look at that. There were 8 yearlings sold for $1 million or more. And reading some quotes from Keeneland representatives, it says they absolutely blew the sale out of the water. They were expecting a good sale, but this is totally different.
Well, how about 4 Warfronts? 3 tappets, but 4 Warfronts. That's impressive.
Unbelievable. It really is. Tremendous.
Not to mention the top 11 yearlings were purchased by 8 different buyers from all over the world. So very, very interesting stuff. Well, coming up later, we'll take you through the doors of the Humphrey S. Finney Pavilion to show you what the sales are all about. That's coming up later today.
They're off.
Los Alamitos Racecourse congratulates all of the connections of Los Alamitos Derby winner West Coast for his sensational victory in the Grade 1 Travers Stakes at Saratoga. Since our first meet in 2014, many of the top stars in thoroughbred racing have raced at Los Alamitos. Who will be next? Join us for the Los Alamitos Fall Thoroughbred Meet. Opening day is Thursday, September 7th.
You're watching Belmont Park live here, and well, Hurricane Harvey, of course, made landfall in Texas on August 25th and devastated the city of Houston and its surroundings. Of course, a few weeks later, Hurricane Irma offered the second blow to the south, leaving so many without food, water, and shelter. These are the faces affected by these two natural disasters. Although the storms are gone, the rebuilding process, well, it does begin now. So take a look, do what you can, and donate, of course. Text Red Cross to 90999 for a $10 donation, but there are so many other ways to reach out to those affected. So do what you can as the process is starting to start now. Well, we'll take a look here now at the 7th race here as we are 13 minutes to post. And guys, the favorite right now is opening up as the one Sunny Samley. We'll get to her in just a moment. But the 7, Rumble Doll, she's taking a decent amount of money as well.
She can win, Rumble Doll. She's good enough to win. We'll see how much pace she's going to get in this race because she is pace dependent. And I'm Rumble Doll's one of her biggest fans. Gavin and I were talking about it earlier. But Paul, she also hasn't won a race in 2 years. Doesn't that bother you a little bit, especially at a short price?
Bothers me a ton. And the other part is she's broken either last, second to last, or third to last. I mean, she breaks last. I mean, that's just it. And now, does this racetrack help her? Yes, because the longer the racetrack, the better for her. I would even think 7 furlongs would be, might be a little bit better. But, you know, she has so much to do at 5.5 furlongs at Saratoga, and you're seeing her here. She got left, and it's good. She did the same thing last time, and you fall for it a little bit, and you're wondering, okay, she's going to break, but she just doesn't.
Yeah, I actually think she's better shorter. I think 5.5 and 6 is fine. I just think the company she was keeping was pretty tough. I mean, Ginger and Rye, Miss Katie May, she's just been facing arguably better horses with Miss Katie May coming out.
Yeah, Miss Katie May, the two who's out of here, probably would be your favorite right now. So you do make a good point there. You saw Louisville first in that replay. I think that horse got a shot back here at 10-1.
Well, we will head down to the paddock, and of course our paddock report is brought to you by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future. For more on this field, Maggie?
And Gabby, we'll take a look at a horse who's going to try to get the 7/8s here. I think a lot of these horses, well, it might be a little bit too far for them. And one of them happens to be Eline here, one of 2 Ralph Nix horses who is getting back to the turf. Obviously, this is the surface that she belongs on. She's much more of a turf horse, but she is smaller in stature. She's a little bit shorter coupled. So stretching her to the 7/8s might become a little bit, well, on the tough side for her. So we'll next turn our attention to number 3, Wild About Harry, who is actually acting up very badly right now. She's refusing to go forward, as I'll actually move out of the way, and my cameraman is right there as well. So I don't love this. Before this, I really liked her. She looked great. She wasn't expending too much energy, but this This is just suggesting to me that I don't know. It's not totally out of her scope to behave this way, but I just wish she moved forward. When horses don't want to move forward, well, it's just telling you that they don't want to particularly partake in the events going on today. So we'll see. Physically, she looks great. And also, Gabby, I can report that last time this filly ran, her owner, Vivian Malloy of Addition Farm, she actually was kicked by the third place horse in Thais, and she is A-OK. She just has a slight little bruise on her arm. So glad to see Vivian here at the races today.
Thank you, Maggie. Excellent stuff there. So we'll be keeping an eye on the 3 Wild About Harry. Clearly not a good sign for this filly. What do you make of her, though, at 3/4 here at Belmont, cutting back in distance?
Forgetting about how you may or may not feel about antics in the paddock, and obviously we'll see her on the track as well. She's in a lot of ways, I think, the horse to beat in here. This is a horse that's just better going shorter than going longer, and her rally flattened out last time because this is what she wants to do, sprint.
Yeah, Malibu Stacy that day took the field gate to wire 19-1. I actually loved Wild About Harry that day. I actually thought the race at Suffolk, sort of Samuel Camacho just rode her around the racetrack and wasn't really trying to set her up for the race at Saratoga. She wasn't good enough. Malibu Stacy went gate to wire. She made a nice little run. And just flattened out. You're right. You look at her race at 6 furlongs, that's where she showed some good finish. And that was against Open Company. So Open Company again today. I think if she can gather it a little bit on the racetrack, she's a player in here.
Well, the one Sunny Sammy, this is first off the claim for a barn that does tremendous work with turf sprinters.
She has back form that makes her very tough in here. And as you can see with Jason Service, 10 for 22 off the claim with turf sprinters. Now, her last race was a disaster, and you have to think when Mike Dubb claimed her and gave Jason Service, he was hoping she'd run a little better last time. She obviously wasn't going to win anyway. She did have a bit of a trip when she lost 2 back at 3-5. Jason Service is a bit of a magician with these turf sprinters, and if he gets her back to her good races, look out.
Here's my worry about this horse. I'm going to take the bad approach here, and we'll show you the very one.
Finished a good second here.
Yeah, Pimble, it's a good second. It really was. She rolls home here, and she got left. You look at her races, and you're thinking, okay, there's no doubt about it she'll be able to get to 6 furlongs. George Weaver has had this horse for how many starts before he lost her? 16. Where does George Weaver race most of his horses? Why has this horse never run at Belmont? I don't get it. I just think, I kept looking to myself going, why the 6 furlongs?
He doesn't want to run 6. I think it's a good point. He's afraid of running her 6.
I think the 6 furlongs might be too long.
I think that's an excellent point that he probably is a little bit concerned about the distance for her. It's a great point.
That's a great point, Paul. But is there also potentially a concern? I mean, her very one effort was good, and that would beat this field. But judging by her last 2 races, is there an inkling that she's headed in the wrong direction?
Oh, well, there's definitely that question. And I think if you asked Mike Dubb, he would have said, I didn't expect to claim a horse that finished 11th out of 12.
Yeah,
well, like he said, she was over her head. She wasn't going to win that day, even though she was 8-1. Yeah.
We'll pick it up with the post parade here. The 3 Wild About Harry on the track for trainer Linda Rice.
Well, she's cutting back to a sprint that she does best.
And still looking at the 3 Wild About Harry. Yes, cutting back in distance here to the 3/4 after going the flat mile last time out. So we'll see how she behaves as she was acting up in the paddock. That's the one Sunny Sammy first off the claim for trainer Jason Service and Michael Dubb.
If anybody can get her back to her good form sprinting on the turf off the claim, it's Jason Service.
She is moseying on to the track right there. Scratch both the 1A and the 2. Miss Katie May as she would be followed. Hopefully, we'll get another horse out to the track eventually here. And the 4, True Charm here right by James Ferreira, Jose Lizcano will ride.
Yeah, this horse 18-1 does bring some speed, and we'll try to theft here with a gate to wire. Did win 2 back at Saratoga.
All right, she is currently 18-1, that 4-year-old filly. Now the 5 more royalty for trainer Ralph Nix, coming off a little bit of a freshening.
One of 3 potential speeds. Will have to run her very best race to have a chance.
And Soki here for trainer George Weaver, and Manny Franco will ride.
Yeah, going to cut back in distance. Never been this distance. Aluminum pad on, but is getting played here at 9-1.
Robert Faucone trains and owns the 7 Rumble Doll today.
Rumble Doll needs the pace to collapse up front. She's good enough.
The other Ralph Nix filly in here, owned and trained by Ralph Nix, the 8, Ela.
Yeah, a lot of speed here. She's never raced at Belmont either, but a filly by Benny the Bull that's going to try to take this field gate to wire.
And the number 9 rounds things out. Louisville First for trainer Jimmy Toner and Magic Cap Stables.
Third off a layoff. If she can build on that form of last year, she's not impossible to price.
All right, well, a pretty competitive field as your current favorite is the 3 at 5-2. Guys, how do you play the late pick 4?
I'm going to go short early and deep late. I'm going to use the 1-3 here. I guess the horse who can beat me is Rumble Doll. If I lose, it'll probably be Rumble Doll. I'm going to single the favorite in the next race, the 10. I just think she is significantly better than her competition. And then I'm going to go all in the 8th because I was thinking about you, Paul. I could have used 6 of the 7. I'm not using 6 of 7. Letting the other one beat me. And then I'll do a big spread in the last race, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You know, our tickets are pretty similar. We both all the same race. Race 9 is tough. It really is. I don't love Motown. I don't love You're to Blame. I think both of those horses you can make case for. I'm going to try to get away with 6, 7 in the last and go a little deeper. But Andy and I are singling the same horse. Going to rely on the 10, Island Reward.
All right, an interesting sequence indeed. A little bit top-heavy there, a little heavy in race 9 as well, but it all rides on the 10 in race 8. We're going to step aside, but stay tuned as we'll be bringing you race 7 here after the break. And, of course, looking at the one Sunny Sammy first off the claim for Jason Service. She's going to try to get back in form today.
Shadwell Farm, home to world-class stallions, presents 2 young stars. Mo Heyman, undefeated 2-year-old, multiple graded stakes winner at 2 and 3. A dazzling son of Tappet, winner of his first 5 career starts, 4 in graded stakes. Grade 1 winner, Tamarcuz, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. This son of Speightstown was a top international miler that earned over $1.8 million. Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, and it is a beautiful day up here at Belmont, but wanted to take a moment here to remind everybody, if you're a Naira Bets customer and hit a trifecta at Laurel Park today, you'll split 500,000 Naira Bets points. This Laurel Park 500-point promotion is available every Friday in September. Check out all the daily promotions this month on NairaBets.com. Well, we're just about a minute to post here for race 7, and the money is really going all over the place here, but the 3 Wild About Harry was acting up a little bit in the paddock. Maggie, how has this horse kind of transitioned to the track?
Well, once they got the rider on and she agreed to move forward, I actually think, Gabby, it was the lip chain that she was reacting badly to. And once they slipped that off of her and put it over her nose, she went forward, and it was really not that big of a deal. And like I said, she is a filly who does tend to get a little wound up. She did receive a saddle adjustment behind the gate just now with Dylan Davis. So, but she's reacting fine to that as well. So I really don't think there's any adverse or, precautionary things we need to look at with Wild About Harry as Dylan Davis gets the leg back up, and she looks fine to go into the gate. Now we'll go to the 7 here. That is your current 9-5 favorite in Rumble Doll. She's been winless in the last 2 years, and it seems as though Rob Falcone's trying everything he possibly can to get this filly to the winner's circle. Blinkers go back off. I talked to Rob about it, and he said she just seemed to run better 2 back when we had them off. So we're going back to them being off. And another thing, Gabby, I noticed is that she seems to run very well for this rider in Joelle Rosario.
Yeah, you're right about that. 2 starts back, Joelle was aboard, and the blinkers were off in a good third-place performance against some tough customers there for sure. So we'll see how she responds to that today, as she is your favorite. Now, the 9, Louisville First. What do you like about her? How do you think she can turn the tables on some of her competitors today?
Well, if you look 2 back, she's not far behind Rumble Doll and Miss Katie May, who's out of this race, right? And then last time, she just was in an off-the-turf event where she ran around. But that race on the turf was her only 2nd race in almost a year, and I think she needed it. She got a tiny bit tired. Hopefully she got fitness out of that last one. I think she's a player in here.
All right, we shall see here as the field is loading into the gate, and we send it out to John Embrial for the call.
And they're off. Ela going for the lead, and now More Royalty. The gray moves up, and it's More Royalty to take over. True Charm has advanced into 2nd, and Ela is now back running in 3rd. Then Soki in 4th. Sunny Sammy down on the inside races in 5th. Louisville First off a bit awkwardly is now running in 6th, and it's Wild About Harry in 7th, and Rumble Doll trails the field in 8th, and it's Big Long Shot More Royalty with the lead here by a little more than a length. Ela in 2nd, the quarter went in 22 and 4/5 seconds. True Charm down on the inside in 3rd, with Soki on the outside in 4th. Then it's a length to Sunny Sammy, who's going to need some racing room here. She's pinned down on the inside and in 5th. As the field comes for the top of the stretch, it is More Royalty. Here's Ela on the outside. The half went in 46 and 2. It's still More Royalty with a narrow lead. Ela up on the outside. Ela and More Royalty. Now Ela takes over the lead. More Royalty back in 2nd. On the outside is Louisville First. Rumble Doll is coming on late. Rumble Doll is rumbling late to victory. Rumble Doll got it from well off the pace. Ela was 2nd. Photo for 3rd.
Well, the money was spot on with the 7 Rumble Doll and her trainer making a couple of adjustments here with the blinkers and getting her into the winner's circle, something she hasn't been in a long time.
No, but she puts in a big run. This was not a fast pace. You look at the fractions, and the leader came home in exactly 11.5 seconds the last 1/8 of a mile. So she was flying down the lane. This was a close but legitimate win, and the money was right.
Yeah, it was. And she wins by about 3/4. And Joelle just swung her out and gave her racetrack. And, wow, man, he can finish. And she wins easy here. She went right by the 9 like she was standing still. And you're right, that money was there the whole time.
And Ela showed how sharp she was with that break. I mean, she broke like a length ahead of the field. Took her in, rated kindly, and she showed that she could get the 6 furlongs under very good circumstance. But she ran well to be 2nd. I think the one, a little bit unlucky, Sunny Sammy. John Embrial alluded to it in his call. She was kind of blocked in behind horses, and she was never able to get out under Irad Ortiz for an outside clear run. But Joel Rosario knows how to get him out for the
Yeah, he really does. I mean, when he finishes, he knows the wire, and he was loaded there. And you're right. Ela ran a great race here. I thought Jose did a good job of rating her and getting her to finish here. Sunny Sammy was a little unlucky. She just didn't have any time to really run. And these sprinters only got short little sprints.
And you need to get out in the clear for that burst, you know, and you'll see she's in those yellow and pink silks right now, and she's sort of behind Ela. You see the pink hat. She has room between horses, but they don't make that burst usually unless they get outside in the clear like the winner.
Yeah, and you can see the winner all the way in the racetrack just moving a little bit faster than everybody else. And Louisville First getting a tiny bit tired. I don't think Hila was getting tired. I just think that Rumble Doll was running faster.
Rumble Doll was so much the best. I mean, they came home in 22:86, and she definitely came her last quarter in under 22.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have more on the 7 Rumble Doll getting the victory here after the break. But coming up tomorrow is the Grade 2 Sands Point, and Defiant Honor sent out by trainer Jimmy Toner will have to tackle not 1, not 2, but 3 Chad Brown trainees. We'll preview that later on.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're watching Belmont Park live, and Rumble Doll rolled home from last to first in a very impressive victory. And she's been very good this year. She just hasn't quite managed to find the winner's circle, but she does it today.
Yeah, she deserved this. She really did. I mean, it's one of those things you're talking about 0 for 12 the last few years, but she's been very close. But out of that...
And good company, too. I mean, she's faced some very tough company lines. A little class relief.
Good mare, Little Buttercup. I know that's one of your favorite songs.
Build Me a Buttercup?
Yeah.
Love Build Me a Buttercup.
Brett Favre?
I'm old. I remember it way before when something about Mary.
All right, we're going to have to cut you guys off because
we've
got
here.
more important people waiting by with Maggie Wolfendale and the owner and trainer, Rob Falcone.
Yeah, I got a Falcone sandwich here, Gabby, as I'm joined by Rob Falcone Jr. and Sr. here. And Rob, you train and own this filly. It's been a long time since she made it to the winner's circle. As you said, she didn't want to stand too well, and she said she was out of practice. But boy, you got her right today.
Yeah, she's the type of filly. She's always trained good. It always seems like she always gets herself in traffic, or, there's no speed up front. And even today, the earlier turf race was blazing compared to this turf race. She always seems to find herself, get herself in trouble or find an excuse, basically, but at least she got it done today.
Yeah, it's always nerve-wracking when you have a horse that needs to close. And, I mean, talk a little bit about how good this performance is considering the slow early fractions. I mean, we saw a longer race go sub 22, and this one went 22 and change. So it was a very visually effective performance as well.
Right, yeah, it definitely was. I think that's why it took her a little bit later than normal to get that last extra kick in, because those horses were still, going on because they weren't going that fast up front.
And Rob Sr., this is a horse you guys have had in your barn for quite a while, and I could tell here in the winner's circle your affection for Rumble Doll.
Yep. I got a little jealous this morning when Andy Serling kept talking about it, and Andy called Rumble his girlfriend. So I got a little mad at that, but he's right. I mean, Andy's right. The horse just tries every single start, and we can't be more proud of her. I think we claimed her second start of her life, and we don't want to let her go.
And also the rapport she has with her jockey, Joel Rosario. He seems to get the best out of her.
Yeah, Joel, rides really good for a lot of different trainers, but especially for Robert, they have a good rapport with each other, and I love them both. He's a good jockey, and my son is just tops.
Well, we love catching up with you guys, Rob. And Rob, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Robert squared there. We've got the junior and the senior, a family affair in the winner's circle.
And apparently I'm stealing his girlfriend. I have a particular affinity for this horse because I bet her one day when she won, going back 2 or 3 years ago at Saratoga, and my mom watched the race with me, and I remember watching with my mom, so I have a particular affinity for Rumble.
Pretty cool stuff for Robert Jr. because he doesn't look like he's training horses, but he's successful at what he's doing, too. So
he knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
He's very sharp, and we saw him make some savvy moves, especially at Saratoga. Not an easy place to do that as well. But, guys, we've got a big weekend lined up. Of course, we're getting into the graded stakes action here during the Belmont Fall Meet, and we started with the Sands Point Stakes. This is a very interesting field here, and we have the favorite, well, main track only, but guys, this is a wide open event.
It's an interesting race. I mean, it's funny reading about Uni and Vu Fantastique. Now, Uni is currently trained by Chad Brown, a private purchase by Mike Dubb and others, and she's good. And she ran very well to be second this Lake Placid. And the horse who beat her is an extremely good horse. She and Vu Fantastique, I think they may have been stablemates out in Europe. And the trainer of Vu Fantastique was talking about the two of the horses in an article I read in Daily Racing Form. And Maurice Schwartz, of course, owns Vu Fantastique. And I believe Chad Brown will probably end up with her, as he does usually with Marty's horses.
Yeah, and probably the resumes over in France are a little bit better on the 8 in here, the Invader. When you look at Uni has not done anything wrong. She's been dynamite. But when you look at the filly by Motivator, the other horse, she's been running in some pretty big races. Olivia Pellier's been aboard her. She was a winner of a Grade 3 that we're going to show you here. But, when you look at some of these fields, 27-1 in a Grade 1 in the Colmore Brisant, and she was second there. She has the grindy turn of foot. I would think she's going to love the sweeping turns here.
This is, by the way, the Prix de CK. CK? Big discussion today.
Well,
she is a grinder. It's interesting looking at her. Now, she has 2 dreadful performances and a bunch of good performances, and good performances against good horses. The trainer was making some comments saying she prefers a little softer going. I don't see that in her PPs.
She has a couple PPs where her softer going is okay.
She's firm as well, and I wonder, getting Lasix, if she could be a horse that needs to get Lasix.
That's true.
You wonder what you attribute kind of the in and out of form that she has.
She was turning her head in a couple of those races where she ran badly, and it seemed like something was distracting her. I don't know if it's an issue with bleeding or not, but I'm bullish on her.
I will say one thing. She has a comment in one of her lines which says she was buried and she was 16-1. Usually in the time form ratings and those comment lines, they really don't say a lot of trouble because a lot of stuff happens in those big fields. So maybe she would just had a bad beginning because that's the only clunker besides her last one. She went to the front end, which was weird. I wonder if they're going to take her back.
She's got pace. She'll be near the front.
Yeah.
Well, another local horse, of course, is Defiant Honor, and she kind of avoided some of these fillies last time out in the risk-averse.
I love that Jimmy Toner's taking a shot. It's a $400,000 graded stake, and he wants to see if she is good enough to play with the big girls. I think she resented being buried inside in the Lake George. I believe that she's a free-running horse that wants to either be stalking outside or in this race she's supposed to clear the front. I don't know if she's good enough, but I'm going to take a shot that she'll run okay in here, and I'm glad Jimmy's taking a shot.
Yeah, she probably should be the speed in here or have Empress of the Nile, who's a big long shot in there as your target, which would probably be perfect scenario for her.
But I think she wants to be out in the clear, not buried behind horses.
Well, Jimmy Toner also said that, with a couple of those major fillies not showing up in the Sands Point, kind of changed direction. Yeah. But, of course, after a disappointing performance in her first start at Saratoga, the Connections decided to give her a throat surgery. So for more on that, we'll check in with Jimmy Toner.
Well, evidently the throat surgery worked pretty good because she came back and ran well off of it. The problem was the first time she ran up there is that she did displace and she choked up and she just lost all momentum, finishing up doing that first race, the Lake George. So when we did the throat surgery, we brought her back and ran her in the risk averse, and she responded very well. Jose rode a super race on her, and she came back good. So everything's been doing really well. It wasn't a plan. It wasn't actually my plan to come back in this race. In fact, that's what happened. That's why I don't have Jose back on it, because it was a last-minute decision. She's doing really well. She's acting good. I looked at the PPs, and I said, you know what? We ought to give it a shot. I said, because New Money Honey didn't go back in there, and Prospectors, whatever her name is, Ledge, I think, she didn't go back in there. So I said, they were the two tough fillies. I mean, it's a, well-rounded group of fillies. But I took a look at it for 400, a grade 2. I said, it's worth taking a shot. So basically, that's what we're doing.
You got to take a shot sometimes, and she kind of looks like the main speed in there, too, don't you think?
I would think Fault, the 4, the other horse in there for Michelle Lavelle, is the other horse in there that can go towards the front end. I don't know about
I think Define Honor's faster. I don't disagree with what you said about Empress and Nile, but I think she's faster.
Needs to play against some of that.
I don't like Define Honor here.
All right, well, the Sands Point happens tomorrow, and something else that's happening tomorrow, we've got the Cross Continental Pick 5, where Woodbine and Belmont are teaming up this Saturday. Special Woodbine Belmont Pick 5 wager with races from the stacked Woodbine Mile card and the Belmont card. So, of course, the sequence starts in with the Grade 2 Canadian Stakes and proceeds on from there. So go to NYRA.com/cross-country for more information. Oh, there's nothing like a book filled with some of the best pedigrees in the world to inspire hope. But what happens at this sale? We'll find out in just a moment.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NYRA Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NYRA Bets, racing's best play.
Eclipse Award winner Blame retired to stud with more than $4.3 million in earnings, including a historic victory over Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. In 2017, his top runners include stakes winner No Fault of Mine, Japanese star Resonator, and classic winner Singa, the dominant victor of this year's Grade 1 French Oaks. Blame at Claiborne Farm.
Hi, I'm Ira. Hi, I'm Ira Ortiz, and you're watching Belmont Live.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. And it is an absolutely spectacular day here at Belmont Park, feeling a little bit more like summer than getting into the fall. I'm Gabby Gaudette, joined by Andy Serling and Paul LaDuca. Gentlemen, we've got through 2 races so far. We still have more to come, including some graded stakes action this weekend.
No, we got some good stuff coming up. Motown, the feature day. Actually, that 9th race, and we talked about it in our pick 4s, which mine's dead. You're still alive.
Yeah.
We both used all.
Yeah, we both thought it was a wide open field, and it is a wide open group. This race coming up, if you just joined us, it looks like 2 horses really dominate the 10 and the 4.
We'll be bringing you that race in just a moment, but wanted to remind everybody about the $100 sign-up bonus. Just go to NyraBets.com, join today, and earn a $100 new member sign-up bonus. Put in $100 within 14 days and get $100 in your account and use that promo code LIVE. Here's the field for the 8th as we are just 13 minutes out. And guys, how do you approach this race? Do you think it kind of dwindles down between just a few horses, or do you think this is actually a competitive betting race?
I think it's an interesting race because I'm going to take 2 opinions here, Paul. I'm going to say that the favorite, the 10, Island Reward, almost has to win the race. Or I'll play the race as though she kind of has to win. And I'm a little dubious the 4, Another Genius. I'm not saying she's not the second likeliest winner because I completely agree with you. She is the clear-cut second likeliest winner. But I think she's vulnerable to not be second. And I've got an idea with a horse, the 6, Fields of Song, to get a piece of this.
So you're taking your shot there. The thing that worries me about Island Reward, if you go back and you look at the horse's last race, you don't want to bet her at 7-5. I thought it was okay, but she folded tent late. I mean, really folded tent late.
To be fair, she wasn't even favored. She still got a buyer of over 80. Yeah. And you look at her from a buyer speed figure standpoint.
No, she lays over.
She lays over these fields. Every race she runs is faster than anybody can run in this race. And I'm looking at her and thinking, they're just being realistic with her. They're running in a race that she can win. And you know what? They're dropping her in class. It's almost the end of her 4-year-old year. They could run her in non-winners at 2 forever, and she's never getting through that condition.
How do you guys feel about her turning back in distance, though? Because clearly she's a filly that's gone a distance of ground. This is one of her first times in a long time going 1 turn.
I kind of like it. I always like it when they turn back to 1 turn. She's successful to mile and a 16th. Why should 7 be a problem?
Well, she has enough pace to stay close to this distance. I would think, yeah, not a problem.
That's a 4, Another Genius here. But before we get to Another Genius, we'll go down to a genius who's standing by in the paddock.
And Gabby, it's so funny you said that. I just called myself not the genius as I, well, you know, inquired about her name. They said, well, she's by Einstein. So there you go. Next, we'll check in with your current favorite. That is number 10, Island Reward. And look, she can win this race, and it's for Jason Service. And I always am apprehensive when his horses may not look great in the paddock because still they tend to get the job done. But I'm not thrilled with Island Reward as your current favorite. She's gotten, I mean, they have hosed her down, but she is a nervous type who's been accompanied by the pony. And to me, she just has the favorite. I'm just speaking because she is going to be a short price in here. She just could look a little bit better in her coat. She just seems a little worried to me. You know, that's just reasons for me to kind of look elsewhere. And one that, well, she was acting that way in her last start. There you go for horses that buck that trend no matter what they look like. That's number 1, Tapaliath, whom was washed out, was a complete wreck in that Aqueduct race coming off of a layoff. And I didn't like her one bit, but there you go. She gets up and gets the job done here for Carlos Martin. Now, once again, she's coming off another layoff. Today, I like her. She'll probably run last because I like her. She's got good energy. She's sharp in here, but she looks good. She looks fit. She's not washing out. So we'll see. I have positive feelings, at least from what I see here from Tapaliath. Next, we'll move on to one that's coming off a different kind of layoff. That's the, 6-day layoff here with number 8, Majestic Bloom, as George Weaver, for his barn, will finally run her for the tag that he took her for the 35. And I like what I see from her. You know, you look for horses that are coming off short layoffs. Do they look too drawn up? Are they too dull acting, or are they super nervous? And she's none of those. She looks exactly the same as she did in her last start. It's just this arguably could be a little bit of an easier spot here, Gabby.
Thanks, Maggie. Yes, a quick turnaround there for Majestic Bloom. But before we get to the field here after the races at Belmont, you can keep playing at home with Naira Bets with some serious bonuses on California racing at Los Alamitos. First, if you hit the early pick 4 starting in race 1, you'll get a 10% winner's bonus. Then for a 500-point all split, just pays a $10 base exacta bet on race 5, and win or lose, you'll split 500,000 points. So check it out. For more information, go to NyraBets.com. Well, it does still appear that the number 10 Island Reward is being a bit rambunctious here in the paddock, but Irad Ortiz will be legging up here shortly. And my question to you guys is 3-2 just a little bit too much on a horse like this?
Well, I mean, I think she's probably supposed to be about 6-5 in here. It's a big field, so I don't know how short she can really be in a turf race.
Yeah, I guess so. The cutback in distance should help her. The 3-2, I figured this. I mean, I'm surprised to one is getting played here at 9-2. I get that the horse won last time out, but this is a tougher move now to the 35 open.
Well, they're heading to posts, and we start things off with the 1 Tapaliath for trainer Carlos Martin and Rajiv Mirage in the saddle.
Makes her first start in just over 5 months after she won at Aqueduct. She's not impossible if she can get back to her last race.
Oh, Mike Maker sends out the 2 Active Runner, always a dangerous trainer on the turf.
You're right. At this horse at 25-1, she's the one to catch. She might get brave on the front end.
And the 4 right now is 5-2, trained by Linda Rice. And Jose Ortiz will ride today.
On the stretch out of the live race at Saratoga, a definite player here, this filly.
Maybe a live long shot, the 6 Fields of Song, sent out by Ian Wilkes and ridden by Manny Franco.
Another horse that's dropping in class here, down to the $35,000 level, and is getting, well, not really bet at the window, right at the morning line.
Bruce Brown trains the 7 Tis a Kitten, Joel Rosario, looking for back-to-back wins.
Was good enough over the winter and spring, but her form has deteriorated first time in the turf since being claimed from the tough Mike Maker.
George Weaver turns back the 8 Majestic Bloom off of quick frushing for owner Matt Shearer.
Sprinted, then went long, then back to sprinting, now drops in class. I think George trying to find a spot for this 5-year-old mare.
And your current 8-5 favorite, the 10 Island Reward, sent out by Jason Service, Irad Ortiz in the saddle.
The one to beat, flat on numbers and on paper, but the drop a little questionable.
Number 11, Preziosa, right now at 52-1 for Gary Siaka.
52-1 and rising.
And you're right, because she just went up to 54-1.
Of course I'm right.
As we'll look at the 12 Splash of Sass for trainer Robbie Davis and Eric Kinsell in the saddle.
Nice win, 2 back at a big price. We're going to try the turf for the 5th time, and the other 4 times has not hit the board.
Okay, so clearly the 10 is the horse to beat in here. How do you beat her? Do you think that the 4 Another Genius is the potential other horse here?
Yes, you don't beat the 10. The 10 beats herself. The 10 shows up, she's going to win. If she doesn't, then this horse is clearly the likeliest other winner.
100%. The race that she comes out of when she did want to go long, it was, Act Naughty, Somersault was a good race. So those fillies in here would be very tough. But you make a good point. The 10 has proven at the distance. The drop in class should improve her speed. That's the one thing about the 10 you're getting, Gabby, at 8-5. You're getting a horse with at least with speed. You're not launching from way back.
That's a very good point. The 10 Island Reward, of course, is your current favorite right now at 8-5. And will Island Reward and her connections be pleasantly rewarded with the drop in class? We'll find out right after this.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile at Keeneland. Then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. With a pedigree free of Mr. Prospector in the first 4 generations, Data Link is the perfect outcross option. His first weanlings turned heads, selling well above the stud fee. Data Link at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live as we have race number 8 on tap for you. 7/8 on the turf course. 35,000 is the claiming tag for horses who have never won 3 races in their lives. And horses warming up on the track right now led me to take a look at number 6 in here, Fields of Song, for trainer Ian Wilkes, who, congratulations to Ian. He and his wife became grandparents this past week. So it's always good to get another family member. But Fields of Song, I think Andy brought up great points with her, and I think 7/8 is just the absolute perfect distance for her because she's not fast enough to handle the 5.5 or the 6 furlongs. But the 7/8 for a filly who is on the smaller side and is built more like a sprinter should fit her down to a T. Now the front bandages do go back on for this effort. Make of that what you will, but I like what I see from this filly. She looks great in the flesh as well here, Gabby.
Thanks, Maggie, with a report on the 6 Fields of Song. And she is getting a class relief. Andy, I know you kind of like her as a little bit of a long shot here.
She's going to have to get her act together. But she does have a race 3 races back. We had Frozen Hannah at Ellis Park that makes her fast enough to have a chance. And at times, she's shown a little ability. And I'm just kind of hoping maybe today she can put it together. And if the 10 ends up winning easily, and I don't like the 10 drifted 9-5. She's very chilly on the board right now, the 10. I was hoping the 6 could maybe fill out the exact.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You know, the 6 has that one race May 3rd at Belmont. Her race at Belmont's not bad. It was off a little bit of layoff. She showed speed and just backed up, but they went pretty fast. Now you're looking at the one, you know, a horse that had a drop for the 40 non-2. We talk about this lifetime a lot of times where it might give a horse confidence back to the turf for the first time in a long time since November. But she's a better turf filly. She's never missed a board to win 4/3 from 5 starts. Is she good enough to beat this group?
Well, I guess you could say with Tapalia, if the Tapalia that showed up last time shows up, she can win here. Otherwise, she can't beat these horses.
She's tactically can stay close, right? I mean,
she can. Well, you know, that was a race. It depends what you get from her. You know, like you said, the 2 is the speed, and the 2 seems like she's overmatched and can't get 7 furlongs. The 10 sitting outside of her. The 10 is very, very chilly on the board at 9-5, and that is bothering me for this outfit because they're usually sharp. The money shows they run.
Well, just to switch gears here, the 8 Majestic Bloom right now, we saw her opening week. George Weaver kind of wheels her right back around. She had trouble last time out, but do you think that she's good enough to win?
No.
Or be effective?
She's 8-1 this time. She was 6-1 against a weak field 6 days ago. Yes, she probably would have won that race if she got clear. But that wouldn't make her good enough. Forgetting about the condition of the race, if she won that last race and she was coming back in this race off a win in her last race, would you take 8-1 here, Paul?
No, you can't take 8-1, especially on a horse that's 0 for 10 the last 2 years, 0 for 7 at Belmont. You can't. You got to take 18-1 on the drop. I know she's dropping, but
she should be 20. She's not really dropping. She's meeting tougher. I guess
she's
the 10 doesn't
like
show
lateral.
up. But
it's lateral.
You know, if the 10 doesn't show up, it is. If the 10 shows up, she can't possibly win this race.
No, but I'm having a feeling, and like you're feeling, that the 4 is really live now because the money's starting to pour in.
And money for Linda Rice horses is usually very smart money.
Of course, that is the 4 Another Genius. And we just have a few left to load, but right now your current favorite, the 10 Island Reward with the drop in class as we go up to John Embrial for the load and call.
Last one, Splash of Sass now in. We're set for the start. And they're off. 'Tis a Kitten from mid-pack. Now towards the inside, it's Active Runner moving up with Another Genius. Another Genius, Active Runner, pokes ahead in front. And Another Genius is racing in second, with Majestic Bloom now up to third, and Island Reward, the even money favorite, on the outside, now moving up a spot from fourth. So it is Active Runner with the lead over Another Genius, and Island Reward continues to advance on the outside in third. Majestic Bloom is next in fourth. Tapalia, the gray, down on the inside in fifth. 'Tis a Kitten alongside in sixth. Fields of Song runs in seventh, followed by Preziosa in eighth, and Splash of Sass is the trailer. The quarter went in 22 and 2/5 seconds. And now they're racing midway around the far turn. Island Reward is going up now to challenge the front runners for the lead. So it's 3 across, Active Runner at the rail, Another Genius in between, and Island Reward on the outside. And Island Reward is the leader as the field comes for the top of the stretch. Majestic Bloom gains ground now into second. Island Reward has the lead. Island Reward in front by 4 lengths. Then it's Majestic Bloom, Tis a Kitten on the outside, and Fields of Song. Island Reward in front with a 16th of the finish. Island Reward by 3 lengths. Island Reward in front. Tis a Kitten continuing to gain, but Island Reward held on. Then Tis a Kitten, Majestic Bloom, and Fields of Song was 4th.
Well, it looked like she was home free, guys, for the majority of the stretch, but a close finish there as we saw the number 7, Tis a Kitten, rolling late.
Well, I think you heard a collective wire coming from people up here on the 3rd floor. Maybe she moved a little soon in the race, it turns out, but the 10 got the job done, but she was stopping, Paul.
Yeah, she was. And like I said, when you looked at her backtrack, it looked like this. But she faced weaker. She was able to get away. Wow, she only won this race by about a neck in the end as horses are starting to roll. And good on you, Irad Ortiz, to stay on her and not give up, because if he would have just maybe paused for a split second, she might have got tagged. Wow.
Yeah, it was much, much closer, and you see they were flying by in the gallop out. I do think, to be fair to her, those fractions were pretty taxing when you think about it. So she was the best horse in the race, but it did get a little bit dicey late.
Well, what about the 4, Another Genius? This is a filly who showed a lot of gate speed today, even more so than last time, but kind of a no-show today.
She may have gotten burned up in the pace, but she was done at the 5/16.
Yeah, she might have been done up at the pace, like you said, but she didn't show any resistance. She just sort of Jose just sort of wrapped up early on her, and she was nowhere to be found. The 7 and the 8, Tis a Kitten. Majestic Bloom made a nice little move for George Weaver, and I'm wondering if he's going to keep her in her barn.
I tell you what, Gabby, if Majestic Bloom, who you liked here the other day, had gotten clear last week, I think after we saw today, you were right.
Last time was the time, though, to use your words, Andy. But
should have been today, the time in that case.
Today was the day for the 10 Island Reward. She unofficially gets the victory at even money, but kind of swapping leads a little bit late. And you almost wonder if it's a greenness issue or she's getting a little tired.
She was getting tired, probably. I would imagine she was claimed out of this race, wouldn't you think, Paul?
I would
Feels
think
like they wanted to get claimed.
Yeah, I think yes, that is true. And I think they're probably hoping she got claimed.
Yeah, but, to be fair, I think the pace was pretty taxing. I don't want to, you look at the horses who were near the pace, they got beaten 100.
All right, well, we'll have more on this race coming up after the break here. But many people get into this game with the hopes of finding greatness or simply a winner. Where does it all begin? At the yearling sale, we'll take a closer look next.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, as we'll be showing you the results here with the 10 Island Reward narrowly holding on for the victory at even money. But congratulations to the connections, Mike Dubb and Jason Service in the winner's circle.
Well, they got the job done. She did not get claimed, though.
Very interesting. Well, with the winning connections, Maggie Wolfendale standing by.
Here with Irad Ortiz, winning rider, and Irad, a filly that you got the job done with Island Reward today. She was getting a little tired late, but she's a filly that you were saying you just kind of have to let her run into the race.
Yes, it's that kind of filly that you can fight with her too much because she will stop no matter what. So I just try to don't get on his way and just let her be free.
And Irad, you also ride a nice filly tomorrow, the favorite on the morning line for the Sands Point Uni for trainer Chad Brown. She doesn't have to deal with Proctor's Ledge. She doesn't have to deal with stablemate New Money Honey. How you feeling about her tomorrow?
She's a really nice filly. From the first time, she missed the break a little bit, and she come running. She got beat by two really nice fillies. Then last time, no pace in Saratoga, but she still run in the end. So I really like her. I think she's going to be all right.
All right, we'll see if you can get the job done tomorrow on the Sands Point. All right, congrats here, though.
Thank you.
All right, Gabby.
Thanks, Maggie. That's Irad Ortiz. And, well, she wasn't claimed. They dropped her in. Do you guys think that they might have wanted to lose her?
I think when you play the claiming game as owners, they probably did. I mean, I don't think they're going to cry that they kept her. She's good enough to take another shot here at Belmont.
No, I'm with you. And listen, when you buy a horse for $35,000, say, okay, so when you're playing the claiming game, $35,000. The purse of this race was $42,000. That's 60% of that. So now if she was going to able to get claimed, it's a $60,000 win for them. So I don't think it's much. Probably happy they get to keep her. Now she's eligible for more conditions, so they dropped her down to 35. I don't know if she wants to go 7 furlongs. They might keep her at 5.5 or just try her some other places.
I don't think they'll be running her a mile and 8.
No, not happening, no.
Maybe the shorter, the better for Island Reward, but at least a victory is a victory for now. Well, the Humphrey S. Finney Pavilion is the location of the Fasig-Tipton sales at Saratoga. Many stars of the past, present, and future have walked through these very doors in the pavilion and whose careers began at the sound of an auctioneer and his gavel. We'll take you inside for a closer look at everything, the sights, the sounds, people, and prospects that make up the sales.
You know, the day before, everybody gets very nervous. The hair starts standing on the back of your neck, and the vibes are all good. A lot of new faces, a lot of old faces coming back. It feels right.
I would say the market is healthy currently. It's not crazy. It's not overheated, but it's certainly very solid. The sales throughout 2017 thus far have been very positive.
So hip number 135 is one of those sort of chances of a lifetime. Warfront is an incredible young sire, gets a lot of international runners, and when you think of the pedigree that you have here and the fact that this filly is a half-sister to a European champion, I mean, it truly is one of those, the sky's the limit there. And she's very much like her sire. She's very light on her feet. She's a beautiful filly, and she's by a top filly sire, so can't say too much about her.
It's very interesting with this filly and her pedigree because they don't come on the market like this filly does in a long time, you know.
Based on the level of activity, when I've walked down through that area, the barn area, she certainly seems to be very popular.
You know, this is a really high-quality son of Warfront, top sire. He stands at Claiborne Farm. This fella is he's got class, composure, balance. He's correct.
Certainly, if he goes on and performs on the racetrack like some of the good sons of Warfront have, he's certainly a stallion prospect with his pedigree.
He is very typical of Warfront. They don't tend to be great big strapping horses. They're neat machines.
His full sister was a Grade 1 winner. We think he's an excellent prospect. Be nice to look at him every morning when you come in at 4:30 and know he's going to run for you.
I feel very optimistic. I mean, getting ready to start here in a few hours. There's been a ton of interest and activity on the sales grounds. We've got a really good group of horses on the grounds. The market is very positive, so excited to get started tonight.
So there should be some fireworks with both of those Warfronts.
Unfortunately, she didn't sell tonight. She did not, we was call her, she was a buyback, and she did not reach her reserve. She had, as we talked yesterday, she had an amazing pedigree. Her owners decided that they were not willing to sell her for the price that the market was willing to give them.
Well, you know, we valued her a little bit higher, and she is so precious to us that, you know, we decided, you know, we'll keep her and they'll go on and breed her or race or whatever they need to do, and down the road, she'll be worth a lot more than this evening, you know? So that's the way it goes at times.
Thank you.
I don't know that we've ever sold a horse for $995,000. Generally, the bid will advance to the $1 million, but the buyer saved $5,000 in the purchase price by kind of reducing the bid, which was kind of interesting. As I said, I've never seen it happen before, but you know, a lovely colt. We hope he achieves great success on the racetrack and might be featured someday on the cover of the catalog.
At that level, we were very pleased to get him.
You know, this is, I mean, you know, there was $52 million worth of horses that changed hands over the last 2 nights, and it was a tremendous sale overall. We set a record for the highest median price in the history of the Saratoga sale. This was a 97th sale, so we're pretty proud of that accomplishment.
Well, of course, there's so much that goes into the sale before, during, and after. And Paul, you actually bought a horse at the sale. What was that experience like?
It's nerve-wracking. It's very, very nerve-wracking because you're sort of going into the sale with a certain price of what you want to pay, and you always overpay. And it's just because it's just like you're part of it. Your heart is beating a little bit. I've had a couple horses that have RNA, like they were talking about, where I put through sales and you've kept them. Sometimes you want to keep them. I remember one person told me, don't fall in love with them. It's the hardest thing to do when you try to own them and buy them is fall in love with them. So very cool stuff, and that's just inside little information. Very well done.
Very well done indeed. Yes, very interesting. Those sales there's a lot of money spent at those sales too. But here's a look at Motown. Of course, after his win in last year's Remsen, he stamps himself as one of the promising 3-year-olds in his division. But can he get back to form? We'll talk more about that after this.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off.
Los Alamitos Racecourse congratulates all of the connections of Los Alamitos Derby winner West Coast for his sensational victory in the Grade 1 Travers Stakes at Saratoga. Since our first meet in 2014, many of the top stars in thoroughbred racing have raced at Los Alamitos. Who will be next? Join us for the Los Alamitos Fall Thoroughbred Meet. Opening day is Thursday, September 7th.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, and we'll be bringing you the 9th and final race, at least on this show, in just a moment. But of course, Belmont Park Live is brought to you by champion sprinter Run Happy. Run Happy won at 6 different tracks, scoring on both all-weather and dirt surfaces, all while racing 100% drug-free. Undefeated in sprint competition, Run Happy set the stakes record in the King's Bishop and set the record at Keeneland, winning the 2015 Breeders' Cup Sprint. He is now standing at Claiborne Farm, one of the many tremendous stallions on their roster. And of course, his owner while he was racing was Jim McInvale, and this is one of his tweets. Mattress Mac, of course, he provided so much relief efforts for the city of Houston and its surroundings after the wake of Hurricane Harvey. And we see here a tweet by Mattress Mac: supply giveaway today at our location on Highway 99. We are so fortunate to help out even the youngest of Houstonians. Hashtag Houston Strong. And what he has done, tremendous for his community down there.
Yeah, people are judged by what they do under adverse circumstances, and he absolutely came out extremely well in everything he did for people in Houston.
Yeah, he did too. You got to give a shout out to a lot of the people in the sports world for J.J. Watt too. His foundation, almost $31 million, along with Mattress Mac. Guys teaming up when you are figures in a town like Houston. Good stuff from both of them.
Great stuff there, gentlemen. But we'll be bringing you here the 9th race. And right now, the 9-5 favorite is the 2 You're to Blame. But for a closer look on this field, we head down to Maggie. And of course, the Paddock Report is brought to you by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future. Maggie?
And Gabby, we'll check in with your 2 current favorites, beginning with number 2, You're to Blame, who will be adding blinkers this time around for trainer Chad Brown. Now, his last work, which came at a minute flat in company with Timeline, another promising 3-year-old for the Brown Barn, which he is heading for his next start in the PA Derby next week. And You're to Blame worked with those blinkers on, and obviously it was a good-looking work, and he'll wear just a shortcut blinker for this one-turn mile contest, which I think fits him down to a T. He's not a 9-furlong 2-turn horse in which he tried to compete over in the Curlin last time out at Saratoga. This is a much better spot for You're to Blame. Next, we'll move on to the outside runner in number 7. That is Motown, whom, I'm just wondering if he's one of those horses that, you kind of compare it to, let's say, football players. In high school, they were the state champions, and then they get to the college or the pros, and everybody's just bigger and stronger than they are. And I'm wondering if that is the case with Motown here. But I can't fault him overall. He looks well conditioned. He looks healthy. We'll see. I think the mile is probably ideal here at Belmont. I mean, that is where he possesses one of his wins, albeit over a muddy track in his second start of his career. So we'll see. But you guys, what do you think about your current 2? Well, now the favoritism has flip-flopped, and now the second choice is number 2, You're to Blame.
You've got 2 3-year-olds. They're trying to reestablish themselves. I mean, Motown's supposed to be aggressive, and You're to Blame's a victim of pace. One thing I'll say about You're to Blame, Paul, You're to Blame is a horse that will benefit from the cut back to one turn. His Bayshore, his Pat Day Mile, and his Easy Go are the best races he's ever run. But will he get enough pace?
You make a good point there. Well, he's second in the Easy Go to West Coast. He's a dynamite second in this race, and it's a one-turn race. I even thought his Pat Day Mile was very good. You could argue he was the best that day,
his
too.
Bayshore was good, too, behind a slow pace on a speed-favoring racetrack.
But you're right. Like I say all the time on the air, he runs his races upside down, so he needs some help. Now, is he coming? Yes, he is, but he's not getting to the winner at all. West Coast, obviously, going on to win the Travers, so no disgrace there.
But West Coast did more of the dirty work. Now, unlike You're to Blame is okay and has run the race he's run this year. Motown is an enigma. I mean, a lot of people, and listen, I didn't agree with them, but a lot of people thought this was a major Derby contender after his Remsen win, and I understand the thinking. He's been abominable in every single race he's basically run this year. He did show a little bit of life last time, but I still think Realm, who's a much bigger price in this race, ran a better race with trouble.
Yeah, you could argue that Realm did, although he was part of that race where Warriors Club and Always Suspect were big prices, and they sort of hung on. Yeah,
they did come back and run 1-2 in a tough race.
They did.
Saratoga,
They ran
so
1-2.
They legitimized the race.
And Neolithic didn't run awful. I mean, he just got beat by Gunrunner. He got blown away a little bit. But Motown, you're right, needs to get back to where he was.
Go to the front, right?
Tactically, he's the fastest horse in this race by far. Yeah.
And there's a couple of horses that do appear to be a bit pace dependent as well, so he could have the advantage with that. But we'll start the post parade with the 1 Realm, trained by Barkley Tag, and Jose Ortiz gets the call.
Has had tough trips in recent start, and his races last fall at Belmont are good enough to win this, my pick.
Your 8-5 favorite is going to be coming up next. The 2, You're to Blame, trained by Chad Brown, Javier Castellano in the saddle.
This one for Woodford Racing. Might like Belmont in 2 starts, a win and a second. You'll be seeing him late. He likes a closing kick.
Owner Michael Dubb will try to go back-to-back here with the 3 Royal Posse sent out by Rudy Rodriguez.
He has back races that can win it, but his recent form has not been good.
And the 4 Vulcans Forge for trainer Todd Pletcher makes that switch from turf to dirt.
I think a live 7-1 shot. The 1 win was here at Belmont, and I think can stay at least close enough to the pace.
A new trainer in Robertino Diodoro sends out the 5 El Chero first off the claim.
He's an interesting bomb because he actually ran very well against the track bias last time, but he's really going to have to improve to beat these.
Eric Hensel will ride the 6 Do You Know Something for trainer AC Avila.
I do know something. When AC Avila horses take money, they usually run, and cutting back in distance is going to help this horse.
And there's the 7 Motown, trained by Tony Dutrow and ridden today by Johnny Velasquez.
Can he ever fulfill the promise that he showed last year when winning the Remsen? The clock is ticking.
Well, we'll get to the field in just a moment, but wanted to remind everybody tuning in to join us today and earn a $100 new member sign-up bonus when you use that promo code LIVE at sign-up. To get the bonus, you just have to bet $100 in 14 days, and you'll get $100 in your account. So go to NYRABets.com for more information on that. All right, well, this is a very interesting race, Andy. How do you approach it? How do you bet it?
I'm going to bet the 1 to win in here. My inclination would be to use a horse with some bombs in the race and exactas and try to beat the favorites because they're vulnerable. But I do like the 1 Realm, who was cut off badly in the stretch after getting shuffled back to last earlier in the running and lost all chance. Time before wasn't that bad in the mud with a little bit of trouble in an impossible spot. If he can ever refine that form that had him running second in the Fred Hooper, he'll win this race.
Well, we'll find out right now. A fair price at 5-1 is the 1 Realm, but there's the 2 You're to Blame, trained by trainer Chad Brown, Javier Castellano in the saddle. He's cutting back in distance after the Curlin. We'll see if he can show up today.
Chadwell Farm, home to world-class stallions, offers 2 successful stake sires. Brilliant Miler, Daher, a consistent source of quality. Daher is the sire of black-type winners coast to coast. Grade 1 winner and millionaire, Albertus Maximus, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and Don Handicap. He is now siring black-type horses across the U.S. and abroad. Chadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
I can't hear you. Talk to me.
God knows what's the matter with that thing.
He must be. He must be, Eric. Yeah, he must be.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live as we are 4 minutes out from bringing you the 9th race on today's card. And this could arguably be one of the most competitive races, at least from, you know, the hopes that maybe horses are going to improve or maybe disappoint once again. So the 4 Vulcans Forge, though, this is an odd horse, guys, because half of his performances have been on a different surface.
But Todd Pletcher has great numbers, second off a layoff. in dirt routes going turf to scheduled dirt, not getting rained off the turf, but races scheduled for the dirt. And his best race last year, he beat Realm, albeit Realm had a bad trip. But that race is good enough to be a big player here.
Yeah, that's why I liked him. I thought you could get a little price. And if you look, the blinkers have helped. Even his turf race was a lot better. He did not break well. He doesn't have a ton of pace. He was 5 of 5. Coming out of the gate, he just circles his field and wins
Watch
nicely.
Realm buried behind him,
Yeah, and you can see Realm had nowhere to go, and he tries to get out, and he can't. So the momentum goes to Vulcan's Forge. So, you know, I think they thought, okay, let's go to Discovery. Something went awry, and then they tried turf, which was a little bit of worry. But I like that they're going back to dirt because you look at that race, it was giant.
This is the best race he's ever run. He
Yes,
got a
it
good
is.
trip, but it's the best race he's ever run.
Well, here's a question, because we have some closers in this race that kind of look a little bit pace dependent. Would you prefer a horse like Vulcan's Forge over You're to Blame in terms of those closers?
Well, it's not, I think, that you say that Vulcan Forge is supposed to necessarily beat You're to Blame, but at 7-1, he's a better gamble than You're to Blame at 8-5.
Yeah, and I just think that I can argue since he's put the blinkers on, even that last turf, he was pretty good in that last turf race. I don't even think he's a turf horse. I think the blinkers has just turned the 4 around.
At the same price as You're to Blame, we'd bet You're to Blame,
Yeah.
but they're not the same price.
Well, you guys make some very good points, but for more points on the 4 Vulcan's Forge, we head to Maggie.
And Vulcan's Forge is a horse that I've always liked, and he'll return to the main track here for Todd Pletcher. It seems as though, as Andy was saying, Todd having good numbers with this kind of move, that Todd likes to get a race into them to possibly just get them that extra bit fitter on the turf. It's an easier and more forgiving surface as far as kind of horses' legs are concerned, as far as their muscle, as far as their whole physical makeup. So I think this horse may have something to say about this race, as he is super, super fit in his second start off of that layoff. And then the bomb in here that Andy was talking about too, and number 5 El Charo, he certainly doesn't look like a 35-1 shot. I don't think he thinks he's a 35-1 shot. I like what I see from this horse. I know he's going to have to improve. I get it, but he comes back for a strong barn, especially with their dirt horses off the claim, and returns as a gelding. You know, he's not a win type, obviously, to use as a win wager, but something you might want to sneak in underneath. Guys, do you agree?
He's a tricky horse, El Charo, because he doesn't have a single race that makes him competitive here. But he was claimed by a very sharp outfit for Diodorov's last race. And in that race, on a track that was heavily tilted towards speed and inside speed, he was wide coming from last after braking slowly, and he ran a good third. So if he was in a fair spot, I would like him. This is just a very tough spot. But you know what? They're smart connections. They know it's a tough spot.
It is a tough spot, and you're right. It's good connections. Robertino Diodoro is very good at what he does. He gelds this horse. Wow, he's traveled a little bit, right? Gulfstream Park West to Gulfstream Park, then all the way out to California, back to Jersey, to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, to Saratoga. So maybe he'll like Belmont. We'll see what happens. He's got a little versatility, but I would think he'll show speed today.
He'll be closer, I agree.
Well, the 6, Do You Know Something, as we'll transition. This is a horse who really has danced a lot of dances, but Andy, they've been going a little bit longer.
Well, but he's run well enough. He ran well in a 1-turn mile last November at Aqueduct, so that doesn't worry me. The important thing about him is he's coming off a dead rail. He was buried on the dead rail on Saturday, and he actually didn't run that badly. So from that perspective, as a player, you just have to ask yourself, do I want him on 6 days rest in a tough field?
That's the worry, yeah. He's a player. I'm telling you right now, this horse is
This
gonna
is
run.
a super competitive race, Paul.
AC Avila, for years and years out in California, this was his move, the cutback to 7 furlongs. Does he get enough pace? We'll see what happens. He had one earlier. The 4 on our show came from way out of it. Pretty enough. Was a 7 furlong horse, cutting back in distance of 5.5, ran third. This is his move.
Well, the pace dynamic has been a very interesting discussion. Who's going to make the lead
Motown.
out of the gate?
Motown.
I would think Motown.
And I think Realm, I think that Jose Ortiz has to look to be aggressive with Realm, because being passive last time got him in nothing but trouble.
Look for the 5, the bomb, too. I think she'll lose speed.
Good point.
All right, it's a very interesting race as horses are loading into the gate, and we'll send it out to John Embriel for the call.
2 remaining right now. Do You Know Something moving in? And that will leave Motown, currently the co-favorite here at 9-5. Field of 7 set to go a flat mile, and they're all in. And they're off. And they all came away in pretty good order there, with El Charo And Do You Know Something now hustled up there. Motown's on the extreme outside, and Royal Posse now gets involved. So it's Royal Posse and Do You Know Something heads apart for the lead. Motown sits just off them in third. El Charro is racing in fourth. Realm down at the rail next in fifth. You're to Blame is sixth. And Vulcan's Forge will be the early trailer in seventh after an opening quarter mile. 22 and 4/5 seconds. Royal Posse by a half length. Do You Know Something? Keeping up the pressure there in second, with Motown in the clear on the outside in third. Realm and El Charro, they're right together fourth and fifth. And then it's You're to Blame, who's asked to pick it up here a bit. You're to Blame is sixth, 5 lengths from the front. Vulcan's Forge is still at the back. The half-mile went in 46 seconds. Do You Know Something now draws right alongside of Royal Posse, and the two of them are stride for stride for the lead. Motown is still in third. On his outside is El Charro. In behind horses is Realm. Then comes Vulcan's Forge, and You're to Blame will be forced to go widest of all as the field turns into the stretch. Do You Know Something? With the lead now, 3/4 went in 1:10 and 3. Motown is there. Vulcan's Forge is coming on now, and Vulcan's Forge has made the lead with a 16th to the finish. Vulcan's Forge in front. Then Motown. And on the outside, it's You're to Blame, but it's Vulcan's Forge, the winner, and Luis Saez, very close for second between Motown and You're to Blame. Do You Know Something was fourth.
Vulcan's Forge was last early and made that little run there to get up in time, but there was a lot going on down the lane, guys.
Yeah, he forces his way open here, Andy. When we get to the replay, watch right here, the Forge loaded in the back. And he is basically going to take
he's in front.
Your favorite Motown and go, get out of my way about right now. See you later. Get out of here.
That was the 5, actually. Motown's in front of him.
Okay, the 5, yeah, the 5. He just pushed him out of the way.
He didn't do anything. He didn't commit a foul. He had more horse, and the 5 was stopping there. A couple of things. The 2, a victim of pace. He got a reasonable pace, but he's just not quite good enough. Motown, I mean, he ran okay, but he's, once again, just not that good. I'm going to be honest with you, Paul. This horse was just flat out the best horse in the race. He buried these horses.
He did.
Good pick by you.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Sometimes you got to look at the blinkers that got put on the horse. The horse just ran a better turf race. And, wow, he ran well today, and he just went right by these horses. And you can just argue that Motown and You're to Blame just have not improved since the Remsen. They really haven't.
No, and Realm was actually eased in the stretch. You could see Jose taking a hold of him, and the others just, their form's gone the wrong way.
Well, it's interesting because going into the race, we thought that Vulcan's Forge might have been pace compromised. But from the get-go, we saw the 3 Royal Posse and the 6 Do You Know Something actually send to get into position in front of Motown.
No, it wasn't a particularly slow pace, and you can't blame the pace on You're to Blame not winning because the winner came from farther back than him. Yeah. At the end of the day, if You're to Blame wasn't trained by Chad Brown, he would not have been 8-5 in this race. I think it's the curse of success.
You make a great point. You make a very great point, and I think a lot of people need to learn, and this is a perfect example. You can't go too far back in the form because when they go from 2 to 3, they really change. I think when the horses are 5, 6, and 7, you can really look at this form, but you could tell by this form the 7's not the same horse.
No. He ran well in the Remsen, but never in any of the races.
Nope.
That's a very good point. Interested to see where he shows up next. But for now, the 4 Vulcan's Forge was the winner. And tomorrow, we're going to be bringing you some graded stakes action. The Grade 2 Sands Point for those 3-year-old fillies. It's a loaded field signed up. So looking forward to that tomorrow.
Multiple Grade 1 winner First Samurai by Giants Causeway got off to a quick start at stud, siring Grade 1 winners in each of his first 3 crops. His talented son Lee captured the Grade 1 Don Handicap in record time and retired to stud with over $2.3 million in earnings. Sovereign Award nominee Stack Beck captured the Grade 3 Bold Venture Stakes and Grade 2 Kennedy Road Stakes, both just to tick off track record times. First Samurai at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
You're watching Belmont Park Live, and Vulcan's Forge making that move from turf to dirt and winding up to be the right choice here and getting into the winner circle, making that last to first move and returning $19 for the win. Great call, Paul.
Thank you. I appreciate
Good
that.
job.
That was an excellent. That was an excellent call by you. An interesting horse and a price. And your pick 4 is alive to 6 and 7. Unlike me, you're alive.
67, hopefully.
All right. Good luck.
All right. Well, with more on the 4 Vulcan's Forge, we head down to Maggie Wolfendale.
Here with assistant 2 Todd Pletcher, Byron Hughes. And Byron, Vulcan's Forge, I know he's been training up in Saratoga, but a horse that you're familiar with given his previous his races. What can you tell us about him? It looks as though he got back to that race when he ran at Belmont here, going the mile in a 16th, where he just blew a field away. It looked like the same exact horse.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very laid-back horse, easy to train. I think today he kind of settled in behind everybody and is a little quick up front, and he made a split horses and made a big move against a solid group of older horses, and yeah, it was very impressive.
And Louis just looked as though he was sitting on dynamite, turning for home. You had to feel pretty confident at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he wasn't pulling him the entire way. He was kind of a nice little rhythm the whole time, and turning from home, he picked up the rhythm, and it worked out great.
Now, obviously, this is the fall championship meet here at Belmont. You guys will have a lot of horses to run. Super Saturday, heading towards the Jockey Cup, Gold Cup, and you'll have 2 runners possibly, in Keen Ice and Destin.
Both are training well. Both are breezing tomorrow, and we're excited, and they should both have big efforts.
Mr. Crow in the Vosburg as well?
Yep, also breezing tomorrow, training well, and we're excited about him.
And real quick, in the stands point of immediate concern, you'll send out Chastise. 10 to 1 in the morning line. How do you feel about her?
She ran a big race last time against a good group of fillies, and so she came out of it well. She's been training here well, and we think she's going to run well tomorrow.
All right, Byron, go get him. Upset the field tomorrow on the stands point. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Great information from Byron Hughes. And, of course, with a big operation like Todd Pletcher's, it's always good to have excellent assistants like that. And they will be sending out Chastise tomorrow. Back at Saratoga, she shocked the public by pulling off a 21-1 upset off the layoff. But it's deeper waters tomorrow.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, and the sun is beginning to set here at Belmont Park, but we still have one more race to come. Of course, we will be signing off at 6 o'clock, but if you want to follow along with the action, you can, of course, go to the Naira Now app, but this is the field that will go postward momentarily, guys.
Yeah, and if you followed Paul and were smart enough not to listen to me, you're alive with a 6 and 7. It's an interesting race and an open race coming up, but there are a lot of horses that can win.
There really is. Silky Way right now, your favorite, a colt that tried the level last time out sprinting. Now going to try this level going a little bit longer for Junior Alvarado and Billy Mott.
Yeah, has to. Obviously, a horse you have to assume wants to go longer because the last race sprinting was not good.
All right, well, it's an interesting race, that's for sure. And once again, we will not be showing that on this show, but you can, of course, catch it on the Naira Now app, and that's available today for free download. And you can Download it on all those different devices, the Apple, Android, Amazon Fire, everything. So definitely keep on following the action today.
I use the Naira Now app now back in New York. Now they've got Wi-Fi in the subway system. I'll be watching races going home. I'll watch replays in the Naira Now app. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is the best app in the world. Plus, you can get the head-ons as well. Yep. I'm a Roku kind of guy, though.
Well, I can't really get Roku in the subway. Maybe if I move into a subway car.
All right. Well, we also have something else happening, and that's happening tomorrow. The Naira Bets Late Pick 5 is back at Belmont on the weekends this September, and Naira Bets is offering a huge 10 million point giveaway. So hit the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 on Naira Bets and score a 1.25 million point hit or split each day at the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 is offered. So for more information, check out go to NairaBets.com.
And a Pick 5 orgy tomorrow, right? You got the early Pick 5, you've got the Naira Bets Late Pick 5, and you've got the Transcontinental Pick 5 with the 2 races here, Annals of Time coming back, and the Sands Point, and the 3 stakes up in Canada. It's going to be a great day for Pick 5 players tomorrow.
It's going to be a great day, I would say.
Beautiful weather.
And beautiful weather signed up. We've got graded stakes action, but also really looking forward to one special filly down in Australia. Of course, Winx is going for the consecutive 20th victory in her career.
She's the Cleveland Indians of horse racing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Wow. I mean, a lot of us remember the Great Black Caviar. She put together like 25 in a row. But this has been the same. She's had maybe 1 or 2 close calls. She's just dynamite. She's in a different class. And 20 in a row, it's different to do in other sports, different to do in horse racing. Completely in horse racing, so different to do. And the way she's done it, that time she came from behind a little bit, gave their connections a little bit.
She's a cool Twitter horse too. Every time she runs, I can hear about it on Twitter in the middle of the night. You know, everybody gets so
really
worked
cool.
up. It's really cool.
It just shows you internationally how big horses are. They got giant followings. I want to say Winx had like 40,000 followers. At one time, Black Caviar almost had 100,000 followers. Giant stuff. So tune in later if you get a chance. Watch her run. She's special.
She is as game as they come. Yeah. Even her first race off of the layoff, she got left at the gate. It was a shorter distance than what she prefers, and she knows exactly where that wire is. It's so much fun. You know, it's fun to watch horses who prefer to run on the lead, but it's so much funner to watch these closers.
And it's really nice, you say, one of the things that's nice about social media and using the internet is the ability to learn about some of these horses in other countries that are really good. So you're not just focusing on the horses that are local. You learn about horses all over the world that are great racehorses.
All right, we'll definitely tune in for that. But that's a wrap for us. Of course, we saw Rumble Doll make that last to first move for the Robert Falcone Squared here. Of course, the father and son duo teamed up as owner and trainer to get the victory with her. And, of course, we did see the 4 Vulcans Forge make that last to first move, going from turf to dirt. So an exciting day on tap today, an exciting day tomorrow as well, as we'll be bringing you the Sands Point. Good night.